This week's video is sponsored by Case. Capture with confidence.
Well, good morning, hope you're all doing well. So today we're just making our way along this trail. Obviously the weather's not been great the last few days, but now it's kind of gone the other way and we've got this bright sunshine, so we've headed into the forests along this trail to try and find something to photograph today. So hopefully we'll come across something. We're heading towards a waterfall that Adam knows of, so we'll see what we can make of that, see if there's enough water running in here to make that happen. But the area is just absolutely beautiful. It's not all growth, it's all second growth forest, but it's still beautiful. We've got lots of backlight. It's maybe a little harsh at the moment, but we'll see what we get to play with when we come across something to photograph. So we've been walking for what seems absolutely ages. Thought we were never going to find this waterfall, but eventually we've come to this stunning area here. Now there's waterfalls coming down from the right, there's a big waterfall tumbling down from the left at the back, there's all these little cascades, there's some more further down from me down this direction. So I'm sure there's something to work with. It's just going to be a case of walking around and actually trying to find something, because it's a difficult place to get a shot from because this water down here is really deep. I was looking at it to see if I could wade into it a good way, and I'd have to go chest deep to get anywhere. But I think it's either going to be something down here. I might go a little bit further down and use that as the background of the shot, or I may go further up where Adam is at the minute and see if I can find something from up there. But yeah, really beautiful area, lovely clear waters. Got all these boulders. There's a little bit of autumnal colour around as well, so plenty to work with, I think. So I've actually come down to this lower section that I was pointing out before, because I think up there trying to get it all in is way too much. So I think coming down to this lower section, eliminating the left-hand side of that waterfall and just concentrating in the one at the back is the way to go. You've got a lot more cascades or rapids down here to play with. You've also got the light at the back as well, which is kind of round where that waterfall is. Lots to play with, bits of autumn colour down here on the right and the left, so I think it balances out a lot better. So I've got this 4x3 set up. I'm just going to pop a Case polarizer on, because you'll notice that all the rocks have got quite a lot of glare because we've got bright light right above us here, so I want to eliminate that. So I'm going to pop the polarizer on. You'll see when I spin that, it just gets rid of all that glare on those rocks and also saturates all the autumn colour. So that really helps the whole scene, I think, is that kind of saturation and just lifting all that autumn colour out of the scene. Now that autumn colour, you'll see I've balanced both right and left on the frame. I've got it just on the kind of middle of the right of the frame there, and I've also got it in the top left of the frame. And that's just to kind of give me a balance. You'll also notice that I've kind of positioned myself further around. I was a little bit closer to this rock over here, but I found when I moved across there, there's some branches on the tree which is just hitting the top of that waterfall there. If I move a little bit too close, it was kind of overlapping. So to eliminate that, I've kind of pulled myself further across this way to get rid of that. Really nice shot. Now it's somewhere around about a second I'm finding is working really well for the water, so that polarizer is also helping me reduce that shutter speed down to get down to about a second, somewhere around there. It seems to be working well for me anyway. So ISO 100 f16, about a second, somewhere around that. I'm experimenting with that as well and just grabbing the shot. Now I'm just waiting for a little bit more light just back there where the waterfall is, just so that it gives it a little bit more depth when you've got light back there. So it's kind of a graduation between what's happening here with the light through to the lighter area where that waterfall is, and hopefully that'll help to lead the eye through to that point. So just wait for that to happen and I'll grab the shot. Because I missed out on the autumn colour at home, I'm really kind of focused in on all the different colours of the foliage here, and it's really attracting me to various scenes. So I really want to make the most of that and see what I can find through here. Hopefully I can work with some of the autumn colour here. Now obviously it's completely different to what I'm used to back home, so I think that's a really good thing as well, because it just kind of opens your eyes to new compositions really, because if you're looking at different foliages you can kind of see different shapes and patterns that you're not used to. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for here, is that something stands out to me. Now because I've photographed these falls before, even though the water is absolutely raging today, I've decided to concentrate more on the forests surrounding the waterfalls. And as I said earlier on, I'm looking for these little pops of colour, and just in behind me here there's this beautiful little tree with yellow leaves, and then there it's in amongst all of these other fir trees, and I think it just kind of adds to the whole scene of it, and I really, really like it. So I thought I'd capture a shot of this. Now I can see it being a pano, and the reason for it is there's a boulder just down here, and I think that works really well in the shot because I haven't seen too many boulders in the woods around here. It tends to be quite covered in pine needles and different types of foliage, but you don't actually see too many rocks. So with that in mind, we're going to use that rock as a little bit of foreground interest. So I'm going to get set up and I'll kind of show you what I'm going to set up and what I'm going to line up for this shot here. Now what you'll see, if I just brighten this up a touch so you can see it on the monitor there, is I've got this scene set out now. You'll see I've got the boulder almost in the centre of the frame there. I've got this big fir off to the left, and then I've got another tree off to the right to try and balance that frame out a little. Now, I haven't shown the whole side of that tree, and that's to leave a little bit to the imagination of how big the tree is. I also don't want the light creeping in from the left-hand side, so that's why I've kind of eliminated that from the frame. You'll see what I mean about the boulder though. I think it just adds a little to the composition. It kind of draws the eye in. You've also got this log that kind of leads towards that boulder down in that bottom left. Now ordinarily I might be inclined to get rid of that log down there, but I think it actually leads the eye into the frame and through. So I think it works really nicely. Now you'll see the tree that I'm trying to focus on is those little pops of yellow leaves through the back there, and I think that really adds to the frame. So simple enough here. Now you can see today in here we're really, really lucky. Although it's quite dark, there's absolutely no wind through here, so I can get away with doing a 10-second long exposure and I'm not going to have to worry about it not being sharp. So that's what I'm at the minute. ISO 100 f16, a 10-second shutter speed, and I'm going to grab that shot now. Focus on that rock, and here's the shot.